Hi, hello, how are you? I'm good, thank you for definitely not asking. My name is Dave Makes Noises, and welcome to MrRipper. Today we're asking everyone what your favorite cantrips are and Prestidigitation. I was wondering what people's favorite cantrips are. As for myself, it is Shillelagh. Don't know if I just like the cantrip or it is some primal thought from my monkey brain that whacking BBEG with a piece of lumber is good. I'm also a pretty big fan of Shillelagh. I like that it gives a way to use a casting stat in melee without dedicating to a subclass. Eldritch Blast is up there too, for obvious reasons. It's so good. Thorn Whip, the rare melee attack with a 30-foot range. How to properly use Shillelagh. Take Thorn Whip and Shillelagh. Cast Thorn Whip. Cast Shillelagh as a bonus action. Use your free action to sing, "Watch me whip, watch me Shillelagh, watch me whip, whip, watch me Shillelagh." Light. It's the only cantrip I can't leave home without. I have thrown many a light rock into a dark room or cavern to make sure it's safe before entering, or throwing a light rock down a pit to see how deep it is, or casting it on my weapon so I don't have to worry about being a human when fighting in a dark cave or at night. Anytime I've played without light, I've missed it. Scorp's Note. Scorps. Note. Scorps. Note. All right, time for a rant. I'm tired of people sleeping on the light cantrip. Everyone talks about minor illusion and prestidigitation and shillelagh and vicious mockery and mage hand, and all of which are great and fine, and I don't have any problem with, but nobody ever talks about light. So props to this particular commenter for doing the Lord's work and preaching the benefits of the light spell, but he missed one important point. So let me tell you how important the light cantrip is and why it is the best cantrip. Dark vision doesn't let you see color. All you dark vision lovers need to realize that if your DMs were ruling dark vision correctly, most of your characters would be dead by now. Light solves that problem. Also, light has other practical uses, like casting light on an arrow or a bullet and sending up a signal flare, or just rapidly covering and uncovering something you've cast light on to get someone's attention. But the absolute most important and best use of the light spell, casting light, purple tinted of course, on the barbarian, just to confuse the fucking hell out of them. Okay, rant over. Carry on with the rest of the thread. I mean, a little smiley face, that's cute. Scorp's Note. Either minor illusion or prestidigitation. I find them way more fun than any damage cantrips. Things you can do with minor illusion. Create cover to hide behind / within that is transparent only for you. Pretend you just conjured a wall where a door used to be. Distract guards with a sound or image. Show a person an image of something you've seen. For example, a map, a face, an object, or a creature. Conjure an image of humorous text in the air to prank your friends and loved ones and Jeremy. Play the sound of a man screaming in agony at full volume for a minute straight. Make pictures of cute fuzzy animals with sound effects to entertain children. Conjure a bush to block line of sight. Cover pit traps and then bait enemies into one. Create the sound of multiple soldiers talking and shouting to make it seem like you have a whole battalion. Host a slideshow with static images, sound effects, and voices to bring joy to the masses. Show a person like your rival Jeremy what you think they would look like if they had died of disembowelment. Create a temporary reference for an artisan to model a commission from. Create images of ghostly apparitions and deceased relatives to epically prank your rivals. Jeremy. Fart sound effect. Signal an ally from a distance with a sound or image. Make yourself look like you're wearing a funny hat. No hat required. Write the date of Jeremy's impending death on the walls of his house in blood. No blood required. Even though I've never really found the right build for it, I really like Primal Savagery, something about the flavor and how unique it is. I use Primal Savagery constantly. In one campaign, I play a Phoenix Druid and her hands turn into talons when the cantrip is evoked. My turtle grows teeth to bite people. It's such a brutal flavor cantrip. No matter how little damage is done, you can have fun with the imagery. Primal Savagery is amazing, so flavor-filled and great for roleplay. I played a Moon Druid who thought he was afflicted by a curse, didn't know he was a druid at first, and his Primal Savagery cantrip was a constant reminder that the wild side of him was just below the surface. 11 out of 10. Cannot recommend highly enough. The story potential is huge. Prestidigitation. It can clean bloodstains, remove dirt and grime from clothing, warm food, chill drink, and even season bland meals. Oh man, hard decision, but boy did I ever mess with a party member using Prestidigitation. I was playing a Gnome Artificer. We were playing online so I could message the DM directly without the other players having a clue, which is central to how this happened. We had arrived in a city later at night, so we found an inn to stay at. A couple party members went to a bar, but my character didn't drink much and was really tired, so he headed to bed. Unbeknownst to the party, I snuck back out and followed them to the bar. I managed to sit a couple tables away from them without them noticing. They ordered some ale and joined in at a card game. Gambling, of course. Here's what I did. I made one party member's ale taste like milk. but only when he drank out of it. I switched it back when he tried to get anyone else to try it. For another, I made one card in their hand randomly cold or warm. I did some other minor things too. The DM had them rolling perception checks and even a con save at one point, and they were going crazy trying to figure out what secret message they were receiving or if they were being poisoned or cheated or something. Eventually, after a considerable amount of time, one of them finally rolled a successful perception check to notice me a few tables away, just silently pissing myself laughing. For me, it's a three-way tie with Prestidigitation, Thaumaturgy, and Druidcraft. I'm a sucker for cantrips that can do lots of different things. Honorable mention to Gust. I love utility stuff like Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, and Prestidigitation. For damage, Mind Sliver is my favorite. Prestidigitation is crucial for me because it allows me to create a heated blanket. Shocking Grasp or Prestidigitation. One helps you get away, the other is disconcerting to others when my wizard, for seemingly no reason, cleans himself up. Yeah, no reason at all. Prestidigitation for me too, for all the things it can accomplish if you're creative enough. Minor Illusion is a close second for the same reason, but it loses out because you can't use it to make it seem like someone shit themselves. Prestidigitation. It makes you feel like a mage. The damage cantrips just feel like ways of dealing damage. Prestidigitation changes your lifestyle. Minor Illusion, especially on any rogue. Obviously, you can take it on an arcane trickster, but also on any high elf or half elf with the high elf racial modification. Being able to cast Minor Illusion as an action, then use a bonus action to hide behind it is hilariously useful. Vicious Mockery for sure. The damage isn't great, but the ability to impose disadvantage with a cantrip is pretty damn good. Vicious Mockery is by a huge margin my favorite cantrip. Like, yeah, 1d4 and disadvantage or whatever, but mostly I'm here for that sweet incentive to insult enemies in combat. It's incredible you could bring such joy to a room by simply leaving it. I'd tell you to summon some friends, but they just kill themselves. I thought the gods never made mistakes until I met you. The only thing you've ever defeated are high expectations. You're not a complete idiot. Some parts are clearly missing. In a similar vein to Vicious Mockery, Chill Touch, the utility of completely shutting down any enemy healing can be pretty big, especially since it's from just a cantrip. Booming Blade. So you want to cast Hit with Stick. Here's what you do. Go down to the local hardware store and pick you up a nice hefty 2x4. Get Booming Blade however you can. Get the feats Crusher, Warcaster, and Polearm Master. Find a whackable Miscreant. Melee spell attack action for Booming Blade. Thump. Move that shithead back 5 feet with Crusher. And spend your movement chuckling maniacally as he is shrouded in booming energy. Option 1, Miscreant stays put and contemplates the life choices that led to this moment. Option 2, Miscreant doesn't give a shit about XD8 thunder damage and approaches you for some good old-fashioned retribution. 2x4 is a polearm. Quarterstaff. Polearm Master triggers an attack of opportunity when miscreants enter thumping range. Warcaster lets you cast a spell as an attack of opportunity. Thump. Miscreant is back where he started this turn with a sore nose and a newfound respect for machined lumber. Mage Hand. Mage Hand became my favorite when the telekinetic feat came out. An invisible 60-foot range Mage Hand with no casting components makes for the perfect addition to any chaotic caster's tool belt. Arcane Trickster says hi. Bizarrely, rules as written telekinesis is 30 foot of range still, since the hand disappears if it's more than 30 feet from you. Another issue with 5th edition not using things like spell range over 30 feet. Eldritch Blast. I played a Fey Tome Lock for 15 levels, so I may not be impartial. Close second. Minor Illusion. So useful. Word of Radiance. It's just so bad, I can't help but loving it. 1d6, scaling, 5 feet around you, con save for no damage, only against creatures you can see get affected. A cleric doesn't mind being in melee, but to get the most out of this cantrip, you'd have to get surrounded. And depending on how you interpret the creatures you can see part, you might only be able to affect creatures to your side and in front of you. Love this cantrip. It's a worse version of Sword Burst, another cantrip that is awful on anything that isn't an Eldritch Knight or Blade Singer. Guidance, also known as, aren't you glad the cleric is around for all those complex skill challenges? Hail and well met, and thank you for scaling your attention with the duration of this video. We're so glad you've joined us today. Cast your favorite cantrips in the comments below, and if you have some D&D stories you'd like to share with the community, please feel free to cast a message over to our official subreddit, r/MrRipper. If you're a DM or a player looking for a group, it may be worth checking out Mr. Ripper's group finder, linked below. I hope this week you get creative. I've been Dave. You've been a peach. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Dave Makes Noises. And of course, please check out Mr. Ripper D&D on TikTok. We're definitely trying to bump that jammy jam. Thank you again for watching. Please sub for Nat 20s. Ding that dong to put some bing in your bong. We love you here at Rip Daddy's house, and we'll see you on the next one.